Western Australia as well. Okay. All right. I'm just going to do a screen share again, and we'll just take it from there. Okay, so Canning College has been around since 1982. We are one of Australia's most experienced providers of pathways into top universities. And when I say pathway to top universities, I really do mean the foundation program in particular. And from Malaysia market and Singapore, the foundation program that we offer at Canning is our flagship program. It's our key selling program, okay? So first of all, Canning College, very multicultural student population with students from more than 30 countries at any given time. At present, I think we have got more than 35, probably about 38 different nationalities, if I'm correct. And at the moment, since about 3 years ago, Canning College reinstated our enrollment of domestic students, which means at the moment for this year, we have a split of 60-40, 60% international students, 40% domestic students. Our domestic students are made up from international background students as well. For example, people who've just migrated here on permanent resident visas, temporary resident visas, people who are also, living here as Australian citizens, who for various reasons don't like how they're doing or don't like how they're fitting into their existing schools locally and are switching over to Canning College. So very multicultural population. And because we are a government school, if you have Timothy shared that he's shared with you a PDF copy or our online version of our Canning College brochure. And you probably notice on the brochure on the front page and on the back page, there is a Western Australian government logo available on it there. So that basically lets you know that we are a Western Australian state government public school. We're not a private school. We're not a boarding school. So the qualifications that we offer our students upon completion of the foundation program in particular is actually really widely used across Australia. I will talk a bit more about this foundation program later. So the programs we offer is not a huge suite of programs, so it's not too difficult to remember. We are very focused on senior secondary education. So we're looking at your year 10, year 11, year 12. We've got intensive English program, and of course, we've got that foundation program as well. So just to give you a bit of comparison here, what does an Australian high school offer, in terms of education? First of all, we're pretty different from Malaysia, for example. I'm from Malaysia originally. I'm from Kuching, Sarawak. So I did my high school, completed my SPM. So I've been through the school system. I know what it's like being in school in Malaysia. So in school in Malaysia, as we know, students are in class. They just sit down, they listen to the teachers, take notes. They can raise their hands, ask a couple of questions. At the end of the lesson, the teacher says, okay, work on this task for the rest of the class time. So the students do that. So when students attend school in Australia, the focus is on academic development. They really practice their writing, their research, their critical thinking. It's these sort of skills that really prepare them for transitioning into university eventually. The foundation subjects, for example, that we offer, right? It is very focused on key subjects that's aligned with a university degree. For example, our subjects are very academic in the foundation program. We've got English, we've got mathematics, we've got the sciences, and we've got psychology as well. So if a student is thinking of going into an engineering degree or wanting to do a environmental science degree, they do specific subjects like biology, like physics or chemistry that is directly relevant and will benefit them when they go into first year of the degree program. When they're studying in an Australian high school, they are exposed to the learning style here. So they are encouraged to speak up in classes and to participate very actively in any discussions as well. So they learn how to manage working individually. They also learn how to manage working in a group and doing group presentations too. So these things will really benefit them eventually when they transition to university. So just to also just share with you, my daughter herself is in year 11 this year, and she is here in the school curriculum, the Western Australian Certificate of Education, the local curriculum, which is similar like Malaysia's SPM, STPM, for example. And I can see how different it is for her in school. And when I compare to how it was for me in school, it's really, quite challenging for international students when they first come to Australia. if they want to complete year 10, year 11, or even a year 12 doing a foundation program, if they go into any other normal government school, right, the challenge for them, first of all, will be they're in an environment where all these students speak the language very fluently with an accent. For a student coming in from Singapore, from Malaysia, even though their English is strong generally, but they may lack the confidence to be able to fit into the new friendship group. And for many students, that is the main challenge for them. At Canning College, because we have different start points for our different programs. So if let's say you've got a student who is thinking of doing a foundation program, wants to start in February intake or April intake or July intake, there is a new batch of students starting every time with them. So they know that when they start a program, they are in here with students who are in a similar circumstances as them, new to the country, settling into the new homestay, settling into the new study environment. So they bond, they help each other out. And that I think is really good. If they go into any other normal school, whether it's a boarding school, as long as it's got a traditional school system, right, where majority of the students are local domestic, it will be a challenge of being able to fit in, to just get used to it, and maybe even to find that network support that they need. Okay. So just to quickly share with you as well, who are our target market? Who is Canning College's target market in terms of the type of students we want to attract to the school? It is really for students who are aiming to get into university in Australia, because our programs are designed to help them bridge the gap, to give them the soft landing that they need to transition into university. I mean, we know Malaysia market, for example, and even Singapore. Singaporean students tend to do O levels, and then they go into A levels, or they go into poly to do all sorts of diploma program. Malaysian students, they've got so many choices right now of doing a pre-U locally, whether it's specifically attached to a local university, or they can even do an Australian matriculation program available at various colleges and universities all across Malaysia. So the key difference is they may have that syllabus, the curriculum on offer there. They can get the results that they need to get into university, but it is when they arrive in university here that they find that they struggle. When I came to study in Australia, came into the degree program at Murdoch University, my first semester, my results were not as strong as I hoped that would be. The reason for that is because I'm going into a lecture hall where there's 300 students. At the end of each lecture, I have to attend tutorial where there's about 25, 30 students in a tutorial environment. And the tutor the way they teach is so different. It is very much an open room discussion. The tutor will throw a question out to the students and say, okay, so this was one of the topics that was taught in the lecture today, or lecture this week. Let's discuss. I want to hear your opinion about this. If a student sits there quietly just thinking, oh, I've got this idea that I want to speak up, I want to say my point, but I'm not confident of being able to articulate, to put the sentence together, to be able to say my point clearly to the rest of the class. So I sit there and I think for a long time. What happens then is you might miss the opportunity because someone will raise the hand and speak up and potentially use the same point that you're thinking of in your head. I've experienced that. So I lack the confidence. It wasn't a language I was lacking, but I lacked the confidence to speak up. I was worried my accent is different. What if they don't understand the word I've just said? Maybe because my pronunciation is not right. What if I say something and the tutor throw another question at me to ask me to clarify and I don't know what to say? So there's all these levels of confidence that the students, if they study a pre-university in Malaysia or they do A levels in Singapore, and then they go straight into first year university, they may not have the skills to be able to cope. So that's what we want to be able to offer the students, giving them that soft landing to help them prepare better. And I hope that that's one way typically how we would pitch this when we're in market, doing agent fairs, or just meeting parents and students at agent offices. And this is one key selling point for us. So that's sort of what I've spoke about, point number 2 there. And again, common challenges, academic gaps, language barriers, cultural differences. The friends that they make is very, very important. And what we find that for many of our students who come to Canning College and do the foundation program, for example, more often than not, when they finish with us, they go to a university, they will have a group of friends from Canning who will go together with them to Curtin, to Murdoch, to UWA, for example, and they have already that network of friends with them, so they feel less scared to start all over again in a different university environment. So the program that's offered in Canning, is for families who want to seek a really clear, supported pathway to help the children transition better. We have had many years of experience. For our foundation program, we've been teaching it for more than 30 years. Lots of students who have successfully progressed to the university. The care and support we have in place will assist students to do their best and achieve the results that they need. Okay, now this is just to again recap a little bit. When the students are here with us, for example, in our English subject, they don't just learn vocabulary, they don't just learn grammar, they learn about how to do referencing techniques, for example, things that will help them when they're doing their first assignment at university and have to do quotations, have to do the referencing, how to do their sentence structure correctly, how to present their ideas clearly, how to articulate so that they are familiar with that. Improve English language proficiency because obviously all the lessons are taught in English. Development of time management and study habits. This is sort of Canning College is a high school, but we don't have uniforms. There's no bells and sirens ringing down the hallways. The pictures that you see throughout the whole presentation are pictures of our students on campus. No uniforms, as you can see. It is sort of like a mini university style environment. It is an adult campus. So students are, encouraged to be independent learners. They are often in homestay if they're under 18. When they're in a homestay, of course, their accommodation is looked after, their food is provided by the host family, but the parents are not at home with them, not looking over their shoulders and telling them, oh, you better make sure you do your assignment on time. You got tests coming up, you better make sure you study and do your revision. They are learning to manage this themselves. And of course, we will monitor their academic performance after each term. Students who are trailing behind, we will do intervention with them to help them improve. We connect them with our literacy support teacher. Literacy support is very important because it is not just for English language. It is support where, for example, students got an assignment due, right? And the student has to think, oh, I don't quite understand this question. I don't know how to break it down into intro, my main body, and my summary. They make an appointment and see our literacy teacher who can assist with them. And this assistance is available across all subjects because it is about understanding how to interpret the question, how to apply the language to be able to tackle the question. Okay. Um, Access to university pathway programs and application support. We've got student advisors, care group leaders who assist them with even counseling in terms of the degree that they want to do, how they're progressing, whether they can achieve that goal or not, looking at alternate programs as well. When students study here, as compared to doing a pre-university back in Malaysia or in Singapore, they have the opportunity to adapt to the lifestyle, to the social norms over here. And again, it will help them transition better when they go into first year university and lesser of a culture shock as well. So that when they go to uni, they can focus on the studies for the first year degree straight away. I think that's pretty much it that I have to share with the PowerPoint slide. Um, I'm happy to take any questions at this stage if there's any questions. If not, I thought what I would do is I will take you through the Canning College website just to help you understand how to navigate it to get some key information whenever you need them. Okay, so anyone has any questions for me so far?
Any questions, anyone?
Was that clear? Do I need to repeat any points at all?
No,
Let me
Anna,
know if I'm going too
it was
fast.
all clear. Yeah, it was all clear.
Yeah, all clear?
Yeah.
If there's any questions, please feel free to speak up or put it in the Q&A box as well. Okay?
Yeah.
If there's no question now, I will just take you all through to the Canning College website first. Just one moment. Just make sure I have got it ready. Okay, all right, I'm going to try and do the screen share right now. Okay, I hope you can see the screen. So this is Canning College website. It is a very simple website, pretty easy to navigate. Some of the programs information is here. You will see that we've got international, we've got domestic as well. So at all times, please make sure you use the international tab. So sorry, I'm just waiting for this little screen to disappear. There we go. So go to international and you see the drop down. The list of programs are all there. And then how to apply, there's the application information. A copy of our international guide, our prospectus is here as well. Academic calendar can be accessed here. Academic calendar will show you when's the start time, when are the school holidays, when will the academic year end, or when there's term or semester breaks as well. Accommodation options, I would like to just go through that with you. A lot of students who come and study the foundation program from Malaysia or Singapore tend to be not yet 18 when they start with us. So for students who are not yet, I'm not yet 18, there's actually a couple of options for them. Obviously, if they're 18 already, they can go into any off-campus accommodation, private rentals. They can also go into Curtin University's on-campus accommodation. So on this map that we've got here, it shows you these ones here are Curtin University's on-campus accommodation and the walking distance to Canning College. This is Canning College here, and all these blue ones are the Curtin campus accommodation, okay? But keep in mind that the students have to be 18 years old to be able to stay here. Students who are not yet 18, they have a few options. First one is they go through a homestay placement through Australian Homestay Network. The other one is if they've got family or relatives here, for example, an uncle, auntie, brother, sister, grandparents. Keep in mind that it must be direct blood relative. It cannot be a cousin because cousins can be first cousins, second cousins, distant cousins. It is a bit harder to prove the direct blood relation. So immigration does not approve of that. It has to be a direct blood relation. And if let's say they have got a family friend or they want to nominate a cousin, we have an option called a parent nominated homestay that we can allow as well. Because sometimes we see requests come through where parents say, I don't want my child to go into a homestay and stay with strangers. I don't know who they are. I don't know how good they're going to treat my son or my daughter. But I've got a friend who's willing to look after them. Will Canning College allow my child to stay with them? The answer is yes, provided we do a home inspection and they do a working with children check, which is a very easy process to do. And once we do a very simple interview when we conduct the home inspection, they tick all the right boxes, then we will approve it. Then we are the guardian. So the family friend is not going to be the guardian will still be Canning College principal. If they're in homestay, the Canning College principal is the guardian. Only if they stay with a direct blood relative, or the fourth option is the parents come as the guardian. Then for these two cases, these two instances, parents come as the guardian, or they're staying with direct blood relative, Canning College will not be the guardian because we're not required to be the guardian. But for homestay and for parent-nominated homestay where they stay with friends or cousins, then we will be the guardian. Okay, so that is the arrangement for under 18 students. Okay, so the one program I really want to take you through that is, I think, is most relevant to the markets that you are recruiting from is the foundation program. So the foundation program is either an 8-month program or 10-month program, depending on which intake they come into. So obviously we've got July intake. So if you have any students right now who are thinking potentially July, I would still want to try. I think there's still time for them to try and make it, okay? Because the orientation for July intake starts on the 20th of July. And typically students from Malaysia, the visa doesn't take as long, about 3 weeks on average from what we know at this time of the year. So there's still potential for you to recruit a student for Canning College. The program can be packaged with WA University. So this foundation program is called Western Australian University's Foundation Program. It is not owned by Canning College. It is not like UWA College, the foundation program. It is not like Curtin College Stage 1 diploma. It is not like Murdoch University's foundation or Edith Cowan College's foundation program. This foundation program is called a Western Australian Uni's foundation program because it is owned by the 4 universities here, UWA, Curtin, Murdoch, and ECU. We have been delivering this program for them since 1992. So it's a very long time now, about 35 years. And this program can be packaged with UWA's degree, Murdoch, and Curtin University at the moment. So if you have a student wanting to come into this foundation program, and this student is definitely already sure about wanting to go to UWA for an engineering degree, for example, what we can do is, when we issue the offer for the foundation program, we can also request for a package offer from UWA. We can similarly request for a package offer from Curtin or Murdoch University as well. And then when your student doesn't offer acceptance, they can accept Canning's plus university's offers, and then it becomes a package duration. So their student visa is for the whole duration of foundation plus a degree program. Some degrees, such as medicine and dentistry, because of the additional entry requirements and a strict quota in terms of places available, cannot be packaged, okay? But we have had students who have successfully gone into medicine at UWA. And for the first time this year, we've got a student from Malaysia who is doing Curtin's medicine program, MBBS degree. It has been newly opened to international students for this year. And one of our WA UFP, our foundation graduates from last year, successfully gained entry into the medicine program, and it's the first year now. So that is a great program to promote as well. It's another option. Um, so in terms of the subjects, when entry requirements, that's what you're probably thinking now. If a Malaysian student's completed SPM, we look at least 4C grades. English plus 3 relevant academic subjects must be C, okay? If they are coming for the April intake, which is a fast track because they start in April, they finish end of the year. So it's only 8 months study, very quick duration. Then instead of C, we want B and C. Their academic background has got to be higher to show us that they are capable of coping with the accelerated program itself. So when we say relevant academic subject, well, what are we looking for? These are the sort of subjects we look for. Accounting, finance, business, chemistry, your sciences, physics, psychology, your math subject. Those are relevant subjects. We don't look at mother tongue languages like Tamil, like Chinese. We don't look at moral studies. History is generally not taken into account. Malay language is definitely not taken into account, okay? It's usually subjects which are more relevant to what they want to study in the foundation program and is relevant to the degree they want to study. So that's how we assess for academic subjects. If their results are really good and they are thinking of applying for scholarships, we do have scholarships available for students. So just wanting to share that information with you in terms of how we allocate the scholarship. For example, in our foundation program, we have scholarships from 3,000 to 10,000. So 3,000, 5,000, 7,000, and 10,000. So 10,000s are usually allocated to students who achieve A grades across most of the subjects, as straight A students. 7,000 is granted to students who achieve A grades in 6 or more subjects. And we look at forecast or prelim results as well. 5,000 is minimum 5 A's in English plus 4 other relevant subjects. So that's how we assess them. There is no application fee for the scholarship, and we're happy to assess it whenever you've got a really good student, you want to submit the application, and you just put it in your email. Can you please let us know if the student's entitled for a scholarship? If yes, how much? We will assess that for you. All right. Any questions at this point?
Hi, Anna.
Hi, yes, Timothy.
Yeah. I think you mentioned about the Q&A. Yeah, I think I saw already about your homestay arrangement.
Mm-hmm.
Just quite curious, right? Let's say example that there is agents that request that can Canning College technically assist on the homestay arrangement? I'm just curious about it. Or would you recommend would you recommend agents to apply directly with AHN?
The application is always done directly with AHN, but our accommodation officer is definitely liaising very closely with AHN staff in terms of placement or any concerns or any issues at all. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, so whenever the students with us or already enrolled at Canning College, so our accommodation officer Charlene is definitely there as a key point of contact for our students whenever there's any concerns with accommodation, whether it's homestay or whether they are already 18, they stay in Curtin universities on campus and assistance with anything to do with accommodation. Charlene is there to assist them. I can see there's a question about parents focusing heavily on rankings and direct university entry. In reality, do you feel some students actually perform better after going through transition college first? Absolutely. Absolutely. Because what we see, I think, is the success rate is pretty good for students, about 80 plus at least. It does fluctuate from year to year, depending on the cohort of students that we have. Because I think the main thing for them is the confidence that they gain when they're here with us. Every year we see a lot of returning students who visit us on campus. Students who finished last year, um, students who, who you know, finish with us, with us because of their experience at Canning College. How will they settle in when they first went into university? The friends that they made, and then they keep in touch with some of the ranking um is not the only thing that will determine whether their child's future in terms of career is going to be bright or not. The parents have to know what sort of person or character or personality their child is as well. Because if the son or daughter is the type that needs a lot of care and support, putting them into a traditional school, for example, here, they're not going to get that because traditional school, like the one my daughter is in, is what we call traditional school, meaning mostly local students, only 10% international students throughout the whole school. They don't have that similar sort of support network for students. Similarly, I feel like if a student who is a homebody, where the students, very scared, very timid, and they're very happy to just study, in Taylor's, in KL, for example, do their pre-U, and then they come into university, put them straight into an environment like UWA, which is a top ranking university. And if the child is someone who is very introvert, very quiet, doesn't engage much, going into a high ranking university where there's high expectations, they may not cope with it. If you ever have a chance to visit the universities or even just look at YouTube videos or check out campus videos, you look at the different universities, Murdoch University, UW University, Curtin University, Edith Cowan University, you will see that their campus environment is really very different. UW, as a group of 8 university, they are known for a lot of research, science degrees, engineering degrees. They're very strong in that. They are really strong, obviously, for medicine and dentistry, but the study environment is very, very academic. When you go into the camp, if you look at the campus, the buildings, the brick buildings, the walls and the grounds that they have, it makes you feel like there is a certain level of prestige there. That the focus, like I said, is very much on academic development only. And then if you go to a Curtin campus, for example, where it is more open in a different way, some students who feel they're a bit more laid back and they want to be able to feel more relaxed and less pressure, they might find that they're better suited to Curtin University. My daughter is thinking of maybe pursuing a psychology degree. She went to visit UW and go, oh, I feel like if I can get to UW, it's a very prestigious opportunity. I can study in Oxford, for example, UK, that sort of vibe. But when she visited Curtin, she's like, oh, this is really nice, like very chill, very laid back, very relaxed. So I say to her, it's not about the ranking of university, how you choose a course. You got to know what environment fits you better. And when you're in the right study environment, you will do better, you will flourish, you will be more confident, you will be more committed to your studies, you'll be more engaged by wanting to attend classes, wanting to attend university, and then you can do better. So that's sort of how I feel it would be. And then absolutely coming through a transition is going to be giving them the confidence that they need. Because like I said, students who study AUSMAT, Australian Matriculation, in a college college or university campus in Malaysia, in Sunway, for example, it doesn't mean if they've achieved the ATAR ranking to go to university, they're going to be a top student when they go direct to uni, because the first semester they'll spend a lot of that time finding their way, navigating around the U campus, navigating around Perth, understanding how to use the public transportation system, getting used to the weather, to the environment, to the different changes in seasons over here, trying to make friends, trying to tune their ears to the Australian accent, trying to just manage their own time, because all of a sudden they go from being at home, living at home with their parents, having maids, for example, to do everything for them, to having to cook, having to buy their own groceries, having to make sure their rent is paid on time, having to make sure they do all the revision and submit all their assignments on time. So it is a lot to juggle. Whereas if they do a foundation pathway in Australia first, they are already learning that, because no matter what, although it is very important for them to achieve the scores they need in the foundation to be able to go to university, right? If you think of it, it is not as stressful as being in a first year university. Because when you enter university, you have to make it. You have to do your absolute best, okay? Because it is your university degree here. So students got a better chance of transitioning and adapting when they are in a pre-university program. We sometimes get students from Singapore and Malaysia coming in to do our year 11 program as well. After Form 5, for example, after Form 4, or Sec 4 in Singapore, they come in to our year 11 bridging program before and study for 1 year, and then they go into the foundation program. Again, that gives them the additional 1 year to do that transition to prepare them for university. Karen asked a question about, besides AHN, do we work with another homestay provider at the moment? No. We find that AHN is sufficient for us, and we have not had any issues where they have not been able to place a student in homestay. All right, I think I've answered, I hope I've answered the questions from the two questions there. Has anyone got any other questions for me? Let me know whether you need me to repeat anything. I hope I haven't spoken too fast. Let me know if you need me to repeat any information. All okay? And I'm just gonna ask, I'm from Fluency International Learning House. Any questions for me? Vincent, any question? Ken from Link Inc. Edu, any questions? No? All good? Canning College also has a YouTube page, so please feel free to go in and have a browse. There is a list of testimonials from students. There is a campus video, so you can look at how it is on campus. And yeah, just generally check out the information. We do post regularly on Facebook and Instagram as well, just to show what sort of activities our students get up to on campus. And some of these things are very useful to share. So yes, please, if you have any potential students, SPM or O levels, or still thinking about what they want to do, maybe keen of them starting a foundation program with us this July, starting on the 20th of July, please do encourage them to put in an application. Otherwise, our next intake will be next year. It will be at the end of January for orientation, with classes starting beginning of February. Okay, so if there's no further question, I think we can wrap up. Thanks so much, Timothy, for organizing. Yeah, so if there's any questions, please let Timothy know. If at any time any one of you have got potential students and parents, right, and you feel like they would benefit from meeting with me online, unless I'm in market in person, but if you feel like a Zoom meeting would be useful to for me to help deliver some of the information, to help convince them, to answer any questions or concerns they have, let Timothy know, and we can schedule an online meeting. I do a lot of meetings with students and parents regularly online, and sometimes we actually have quite a few of them who want to come on campus and visit as well. So we're happy to do that.
Yeah. Anna, thanks for the help earlier. Just one more thing, right? Just in case,
Yeah.
I think Karen's asking, right? Is there any
Mm,
extra like student academic support? Let's say example, maybe the student was struggling in some subjects and they
mm.
may need some additional guidance and classes.
Yes, so in our learning center, which is located in our library, we offer free extra tuition for students. So our students' timetable, like for when they do the foundation program, right? Although we are a government high school, our timetable is not like a typical high school where students are at 8:30 and they finish at 3:30, Monday to Friday. It's different. So our earliest class will potentially start about 8:30 in the morning. April intake, because it's a fast track program, students will start some classes at 8 o'clock. But for the standard intake, which is the January intake and July intake, students' timetable generally starts at 8:30. Their latest class finishes about 4:30. But the unique thing is they don't always start and end at the same time every day. It is like a university style. So some days they will only start at 9:30, and then some days they may finish the classes by 2:30 in the afternoon. So in between the classes, they tend to have free periods where there's no classes scheduled. So what they can do is they go to our library, and then they go into the learning center in there, and they can access additional academic help. Most of the time, additional academic help is available during lunch breaks as well. And sometimes, especially in the lead up to exams, semester exams, we will do additional academic revision workshops after school or during the school holidays as well. Like, for example, each year, before the final exams for the foundation program, right? That's usually starting in about mid to end of October. In the lead up to that, so the semester holidays, like the July school holidays, the September 2 week school holidays, in the second week of those school holidays, we will run extra preparation workshops for them to help the students do revisions already to prepare for exams. So again, we have got our care group leaders, we've got student advisors that our students can approach, but our students are also encouraged to approach their subject teachers directly to ask for any additional help. And the teachers are usually pretty good with doing that. And like I mentioned earlier, when I was doing my PowerPoint presentation, we will look at the students' academic progress at the end of each term. So each semester is divided into 2 terms, yeah? So at the end of each term, my deputy principal curriculum, Lorena, will send me and the other heads of departments a copy of students' progress results. We will look and see which students are doing well, which ones are starting to struggle or trail behind a bit, and then we will start doing what we call an intervention. Intervention meaning we will interview the student, have a chat with them to find out what are they struggling with, why are they struggling, and then come up with a plan, a study plan to help them improve. And we check in with them regularly every 2 weeks to see what sort of improvement they have. Otherwise, we tweak the study plan for them. So yeah, we do our absolute best to do this. And something like this is not probably something you'll find in some other schools or colleges where the students are in a university environment. So again, Canning College is very different from UWA College, from Curtin College, from Murdoch College, from Edith Cowan College. These university pathway providers are located in university campuses. What this means for a student going into UWA College, for example, is when they attend classes, they are literally just going into one building. Although it's on university campus, they attend classes, they exit, they step out, they're on university campus. And then they are walking amongst thousands of university students. When they look around, then they don't know, are these uni students or are these my college students? They can't tell. Whereas at Canning College, it is a very strong sense of student community because it is only for Canning College. We have our own full campus and we've got our own recreation center where they can play badminton, table tennis, basketball, and we've got our own cafeteria, we've got our own library, we've got our own gym, we've got our student lounges for them to use. So we've got Canning College's own facilities for our students to use. So that's what I meant about the student community being a lot stronger. The sense of belonging is a lot stronger here, and the support that they get is very solid as well. Okay. Karen's asking any floorball club. Students are welcome to suggest to our school chaplain about setting up some clubs. And if there's enough interest, we're happy to assist with doing that. So at the moment, there's no floorball club. There's no specific clubs. Year to year, it varies. Sometimes we have students who, come together and they form a basketball team, a football team. Or last year there was a group of students who really likes chess and games. So we had a gaming club, we had a chess club as well. So these things are sort of done on an ad hoc basis, and our school chaplain agent is really good in coordinating this and putting something together depending on the demand for the students from the students. Great questions. Any more? Keep them coming. Right.
Okay.
Okay. I think that's it. If no one
Yeah.
else has any questions, Thank
Okay.
you
Okay.
everyone for your
Thank you, and
time.
thank
We
you everyone for
appreciate
coming.
you.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much. Thanks for your time, everyone. Have a great day and
Yeah,
please
have a
stay in
great
touch
day.
and
Thank you
pick
so
up
much.
canning. Thanks, team. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye bye.
Bye.